Good afternoon, and welcome to our first ever 55 and Better Virtual Expo. Today's session is entitled Financial Support for Home Heating. My name is Al Manzi. I'm President and CEO for Prairie Mountain Media and publisher for the Greeley Tribune and the Loveland Reporter Herald. Before I turn it over to today's speakers, let me remind everybody about the question and answer features that are at the bottom of your screen. There's a Q&A button and a chat button. You can type in a question anytime during the session, and we'll get to it at the end. Hopefully, we'll have a vibrant question and answer session after our speakers are finished. Today, we're joined by Theresa Kullen. She's the LEAP manager with the State of Colorado Department of Human Services, and Maria Hops. She is a data analyst for LEAP. So please welcome Theresa Kullen and Maria Hops.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being a part of this opportunity to let us educate you on the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program, otherwise referred to as LEAP. What we're going to do today is just give you a little information about what our LEAP program is, how you might qualify and who qualifies, and how to fill out a LEAP application if you are interested in applying for our program. We're dealing right now in a pandemic, an epidemic crisis, a national crisis, and there's a lot of individuals, tens and thousands across the state of Colorado who have lost employment and are needing financial support. And our program, LEAP, helps low-income residents pay a portion of their heating bill. We help both homeowners and renters. The program started way back in the 1980s, and it is a federally funded program. The state of Colorado receives approximately $60 million in a block grant to provide financial assistance to households in need, help pay their winter heating costs. Our program assists one time per heating season, and it is not an ongoing monthly benefit. Our application period, which just opened up this past Sunday, is open from November 1st through April 30th. That's our program year. And if you're found eligible at any time during our program year, you're entitled to the full program year benefit. We're also a mail-in program, so you're not required to go into any local county social services office and have an interview. Who qualifies for LEAP? Individuals must meet the income guideline, which is 60% or under of the state median income. And I'm sure that doesn't mean a whole lot to anybody listening. So on our next slide, we'll show you what that actually equates to. And we do need verification of income, and earned income can be verified with pay stubs, or if you have a unearned income with an award letter. The other qualifying piece is that you need to be responsible for paying home heating costs, and that can be verified with a heat bill or rent receipt. And citizenship and residency. At least one member of the household must be either a U.S. citizen or a lawfully permanent resident of the household. And the applicant does have to provide verification of lawful presence, which is done by completing our affidavit, which is part of our application, and by providing us with a valid ID. So 60% of the state median income equates to a household size of one, being $2,619. So your income has to be up to that dollar figure or under that dollar figure. A household size of 2 would be $3,425 a month. A household size of 3 is $4,231 a month. And a household size of 4 is $5,038 a month. And the list goes on up to 8 household members. And if you have an additional on top of 8 members, you would add $151 to figure out your monthly gross income. And we are speaking in terms of gross income, not net income. Vulnerability. Vulnerability means that individuals who are subject to rising heat costs. So in order to qualify for our program, you do need to pay heating costs, and that can come in a variety of ways. You can pay directly to a utility provider such as Xcel Energy, or perhaps your main heating source is propane, and then a bulk fuel provider is allowable. Some people pay their heat in their rent or their heat in addition to their rent. So what that means is that they may pay their landlord for their heat costs. Most situations with heat in rent or heat in addition to rent do qualify for our program. You may pay heating costs as part of the total household expenses, and any subsidized housing units that pay a surcharge or a separate charge on top of their rent or are individually metered or have bulk fuel all qualify for our program. Our citizenship and residency requirement: we must have at least one member of the household who is a US citizen or a permanent resident to be eligible. And if you are a lawfully permanent resident in the United States, we would need with your application a copy of your LPR card. So how can people apply for LEAP? You can apply by mail. You can drop your application off at your local county social services office. You can send it in via email. You can apply online. So applicants can mail applications directly to their county or contractor. And we have 14 counties across the state of Colorado that administer the LEAP program within their county. And we have one contractor, Discover Goodwill, that administers the program for 50 of our 64 counties. We have a heat help hotline, and that number is 1-866 heat help, HEATHELP, or 1-866-432-8435. Heat help can you can call and they can mail you an application to your home. You can call them to find out where in your particular county you should mail your application to. You can always go to your local social services office and drop off our application. Whether your county administers the program or not, they are all prepared to take your application. And if they aren't the administrator of the program, they scan and email it to Goodwill to ensure processing of your application. We also have an online application platform at www.colorado.gov/PEAK. Or you can just type in your browser Colorado Peak, and it will take you to the secured website. Peak is a single entry application point, so you can apply for multiple programs through Peak, and you can apply all at the same time. But if you are looking just to apply for LEAP, the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, you would want to just scroll down until you see Low Income Energy Assistance Program, click on that link, and you can apply online. We also have, so a recap of our heat help, can provide applicants with updated county addresses to drop off your application or where to mail it. You can send the applicants, they can send you or an applicant an application right to their home. They can provide you or applicants with a status update on their application. So let's say you mailed it in a week ago and you're interested in finding out, have they received it yet? You can call our heat helpline and they can tell you, yes, your office did receive your application. Heat help can also, for any applicants with barriers to apply for LEAP in any of our other traditional methods, heat help can take the application over the telephone. So telephonic applications, you call the heat help hotline, you let them know that you need to apply for LEAP and you'd like to do it over the phone. And I will say right now, since our heating season just opened a couple days ago, they are totally bombarded. So they will talk to you and make sure that you have a barrier and can't use our traditional application methods. Once you apply over the phone, then we will mail you a copy of the application and a letter explaining what verification you will need to start gathering so that we can get all the verifications that we need to process your application. Heat help is available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for telephonic applications. And this option is available for applicants with a utility or furnace emergency or with a barrier to apply through our traditional application entry points. And again, that number is 1-866-432-8435 or 1-866 heat help. And now I'm going to do an overview of our application. So if you are interested in completing an application, one of the biggest barriers to getting people enrolled in our program is that applications aren't completed correctly, and we don't get the information that we need from you in order to process your application. So I'm just going to go section by section of the application and explain what you need to do in each section to fill out your application. So section 1 and 2 of our application is applicant and household members. So the applicant information, the applicant will be the person filling out the application. There's a place for your name. We must know your address of residence. If you have a mailing address that is different than your residence, you need to put that on the application so we know where to direct any correspondence to you. We have a spot for your telephone number, date of birth, place of birth, age, gender, and are you a US citizen? Yes or no, and your social security number. Also, we have a place for your email address and which county do you reside in? We need to know that. And are you a registered alien, meaning are you a lawfully permanent resident in the US? Yes or no. In section 2, you list all other household members. So if you have a spouse, if you have children, if you have grandchildren, great grandchildren, whoever you happen to be residing with you, and who is a part of the economic unit for whom he is purchased in common, you would list those members in the other household members screen. It's very important to fill in every box on every individual for the other household members. The next section of the application, it asks for you to list separate households. Does anyone else live at this address? So perhaps you have a roommate. Then you would list your roommate in this section. And it has a yes, no question. So make sure that you check the box yes or no. And then you would list the relationship to the individual, their age. We don't count them as they're not part of your economic household. We don't want any information about this household members. We don't want to know if they're employed or not employed. We just need to know under your roof in your dwelling if there are separate households besides the household that resides with you. Section 4 of our application is where we gather all of our income information. We need to know what the household monthly gross income is because you have to meet the 60% of state median income guidelines. So there are 5 separate questions under section 4 that need to be completed. And they all have yes, no questions. So we need a yes or no box checked. So does your household have work income? Yes or no? If it's no, you just check the no box. If it's yes, you check the yes box. And you also fill in who receives it, how often are they paid, the gross monthly amount, who's the employer, and you must send us in 1 month's worth of copies of check stubs so we can verify your information. That is a program requirement. And then again, does anyone in the household have self-employment work income? Yes or no? We need the question answered. If it's yes, you fill in the boxes. And what we need for self-employment income would be verification of the full month prior to the month of application's self-employment earnings. So you can submit us with a written statement indicating what your self-employment income was, your gross. If you want to, a profit and loss statement. If you want us to consider any business-related expenses as a deduction from your self-employment income, you will want to submit copies of your business-related expenses that were incurred in that month. Section C Does anyone in your household have non-work income? Yes or no? So non-work income, unearned income would be Social Security benefits, public assistance benefits, old age pension, any type of pensions or retirement, unemployment benefits. Okay. Question D again has a yes, no. So we need that answer, question answered. And if it's yes, then you need to fill in the information. So did you pay your expenses by a loan or a gift? So what we want to know is in the prior 30 days, did you get a loan or a gift from anyone? And question E has to be completed in the instance that your income that you receive does not cover what your shelter or housing costs are. So if your monthly rent is $700 a month, but your monthly income is only $500, then you need to explain to us, how are you paying your rent when your income doesn't cover your expenses? Section 5, this helps determine your benefit amount. We need to know what type of a dwelling you live in. If you're a renter, what's your rent amount? If you have a mortgage payment, what's your mortgage payment? Or do you own your home outright? And if you live in a mobile home, do you have a monthly lot rent? It also asks what the name and phone number is of your apartment complex. However, you are not required to answer that. Section 6 asks, do you live in Section 8 public housing, or do you receive a rental subsidy to pay your rent? Yes or no? Again, we need an answer. And subsidized housing is a governmental subsidy to help pay your rent, and the amount of rent that you pay is based upon your income. This question is the most missed question on our application. So as you're filling out and submitting an application, don't overlook this question. Section 7 asks if you are in an emergency situation, because if you're in an emergency situation, we will expedite the processing of your application. So if you have a broken furnace, or you have a disconnect notice on your heating bill, or you're about to run out of bulk fuel, or you're already out of bulk fuel, you would check, yes, I'm having an emergency right now. And then you would check the type of emergency that you are having. And there's not a box here for if your propane or if your furnace is not working or is in need of repair. You can just write that on there. My furnace needs repair. Okay. Section 7 of the application is we need to know what is your primary heating fuel. So is it natural gas, propane, electricity, etc.? You would only check one box. And then underneath there, you have 3 options to check the way in which the heat bill, not your electric, not your lights, is paid for at your residence. So if you pay it, if you have a utility bill, you pay it directly to the utility company, you would check that box. You would list the name of your fuel provider and your account number. If your electricity is supplied by a different company, you can provide their name and account number. And we need to know if you have a heat bill that's not in your name, because one of the things we have to do is verify that you're vulnerable to rising heat costs. And in order to do that, we need a heat bill or some sort of a statement showing that you pay the bill. If the heat bill is in someone else's name, you need to provide their name, their address, and the relationship to you and why the bill is in their name. Now, if it's another household member, you don't need to fill that out. It's only if the bill is in someone else's name that does not reside in your residence. Or the second option is heat is included in my rent, and if so, attach a copy of your most rent receipt that shows heat's included in your rent. Or your last option there is if someone other than a member of your household pays your heating costs, then you need to explain their name, address, relationship, and why they pay your heat bill. Okay. Going back to the applicant, if they are here lawfully present in the United States, they do need to be, we do need to verify lawful presence. So this is the part of the application that is the affidavit. And this is very important because it gives you three options to select. I'm either a US citizen or a legal permanent resident of the United States, or I am lawfully present in the United States. Many people select all three because in reality, I am all three, but you can only select one. So if you're a US citizen, you'll check citizen. If you're here as a lawful permanent resident of the United States, you'll check that. Or if you are lawfully present under some other United States federal program, you would check that box. On the top line, you need to print your name, you need to sign it, and you need to date it. We get many affidavits that are filled out incorrectly, and then we have to send you a letter and ask you to refill one out. So just remember, check only one box on the lawful presence affidavit. And we're going to review sections 9, 10, and 11. And people often forget to sign page 4 of our application because they don't turn it over. It's the last page of our application. So section 9 and 10 is optional. And basically we ask for applicant demographics so we can get a good grip on who we're serving and how you heard about our program, so we know if our outreach efforts are effective or not. And then consent to disclose customer data. You don't need to check electric or natural gas. And then 11, section 11, you need to read and consent, and then sign and date the application. If you help someone complete the application or someone helps you complete the application, then they should also sign as your helper. If you qualify for our LEAP program, which is assistance with your heating fuel expenses, you automatically qualify for our crisis intervention program, which we refer to as a SIP. Our SIP program assists with repairing or replacing your broken furnaces or primary heating system to the dwelling. You must first be approved for our LEAP Energy Assistance Program before we can hook you up with furnace repair replacement. Here's the phone number. Once you've been approved for LEAP, you just simply can call this number 1-855-469-4328. Let them know you've been approved for LEAP and you're having problems with your furnace, and they will get a licensed contractor out there to take a look at your furnace, see what type of help you're needing, and get your furnace repaired or replaced. And after hours and on weekends, you can call Heat Help. So for SIPs, it's Monday through Friday. If it's evenings or weekends, then you call Heat Help. We have other partners that we work very, very closely with. So SIP is our program for furnace repair and replacement. We work very closely with the Colorado Energy Office, which provides weatherization services. So if you qualify for our program, you would also be an automatic qualifier for weatherization if you are interested in weatherization and you meet their criteria. And their phone number for weatherization is 1-800-462-0184. And we also partner very closely with Energy Outreach Colorado. And they are a nonprofit entity, and they can provide year-round utility assistance. And they can also provide utility assistance. We provide assistance with your primary heat source. EOC can provide assistance with other types of utility assistance. So we work very closely in conjunction with them. And all their information, you can actually call Heat Help again. And Heat Help is the hotline for both LEAP and Energy Outreach Colorado. Another advantage to being enrolled in the LEAP program is that many utility providers have their own low-income rate assistance programs. And if you qualify for LEAP, that's a qualifier to participate with the utilities low-income rate assistance programs. So there's many, many advantages for you to apply for and enroll in our program. And one of the things that I really want to stress is that right now, given the state of our economy and the financial difficulties that people are facing, we are here to help. And if you can qualify for our program, that will free up money for you to use towards other basic living expenses. Quite honestly, when the heat bills get high in the winter, without our assistance, people are being forced to choose between applying or for paying their heat bill or buying food or medicine. No one ever should be in that position. There's a lot of resistance. It's very hard and humiliating to ask for help. I want everyone to know we are here. We are friendly partners. We are here to help, and we love what we do. So don't hesitate whatsoever about reaching out and applying for our program. And this year we have a formula that we use to calculate benefits. So we consider the household income and your household energy costs to determine the benefit amount. This year, our minimum benefit, no matter how that formula comes out to anyone who applies and meets all our criteria, the minimum benefit we will pay out is $250. And the maximum benefit that we would pay out is $1,000. So that's a substantial amount of help paying your heating bill for the winter. And it's for the 6-month period, mind you. But please, please, we are here to help. And we want to help as many and get as many people enrolled as we can. Thank you.
Theresa, that was outstanding. That was as thorough a description of this process as I've ever seen. So as we enter the winter and cold months coming up, I hope there are more people so that will take advantage of the program. So tell me, how many people last year or households did you support in Colorado?
I think we served close to 80,000 households last year, and with an average benefit of approximately $600. We paid out close to $62 million in benefits last year. So we were able to help a lot of people.
Do you ever run out of money?
We have not ran out of money so far. This year could be a little different because there's so many more people who will be eligible. But how we go into the heating season is that we project and we start our benefits out at an amount that we think we're going to have enough money to get through the heating season and have money left over. As soon as the heating season is left over and we have money left over, then we send out a supplemental benefit to anyone who was approved for our program. But so we do reserve money to make sure that we have enough money to serve everyone.
And that money is not taxable as income to the individuals?
It's not taxable as income. It's not counted as income for any public assistance or food programs. And if you get assistance through LEAP and you're on SNAP assistance, you qualify for the higher utility allowance and it may result in a higher food allotment for you.
Theresa, you mentioned that people, once they qualify for your program, for the state's program, they then qualify to be considered for some of your other partners as well.
Yes. Yes. So the really big one is our furnace repair and replacement program. And that is at absolutely positively no charge to the residents. It can be either a renter or a homeowner, both. We treat them both the same. If you are a renter, we obviously can't come in and repair or replace a furnace without speaking to your landlord because it's their property. And we have to have their authorization. And we will ask the landlord for a contribution. But we are looking at providing assistance with the most highest energy efficient appliance that we can provide. Same with weatherization. They provide new appliances with energy efficiency appliances. They check your insulation. They do all sorts. They do an energy audit of your home. And we can do both homeowners and renters as well.
That's awesome. How well do you feel the people in the Loveland and Greeley markets know and understand your program?
You know, I would say that across the United States, across the state of Colorado, we could do much better at making our program aware. And we do rely upon our county social services offices to do outreach for us. We do provide the counties with funding so that they can place ads in their newspapers, they can run ads, they can put bus stop signs up. But education and awareness is one of our biggest drives this year. So I know we need to do a better job at getting the word out. We have hundreds of thousands of income eligible households across the state of Colorado that are not applying. So we know they're out there. We have to figure out how to reach them. And with all our newly unemployed people because of this pandemic, they don't even know this system. They don't know how to even. So I think this platform is absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it is terrific. The other question I had was, if you were to look at this from a demographic perspective, would you say the majority of your people that you're supporting are people who are on disability or Social Security, retirement benefits that are in that qualifying group? And now the expansion tends to be to people who are laid off because of COVID?
Well, across the state of Colorado, we have a lot of households that are employed, but are not earning a living wage. So our priority population actually is individual households with individuals over age 60, with households with individuals with disabilities, and households with young children. I think we are seeing the full spectrum of households, and we certainly, I know that for those who are on fixed incomes, we are a vital source of their support because they don't have options to change their situation. Some people are in a rough spot, they lost a job, maybe they get another one, they get back on their feet. But for individuals on a fixed income, you have to learn to live on what you have. And so it's vital for us to reach this population so that we can provide some relief to those household expenses when those high winter bills, heating costs come in.
Great information, absolutely spectacular information. Maria, do you want to add anything to? You've been quiet. Do you want to add anything to the conversation?
I'm a local Northern Colorado resident, and I love LEAP, and it's a great program. Help us get the word out, please. Let people know about our program.
Well, doing these kind of sessions is certainly helpful as well. Theresa and Maria, I thank you so much for really a spectacular presentation of a vital program that is becoming more vital as we face the uncertainty of unemployment in the state caused by the COVID epidemic, or pandemic. So I thank you both for taking the time today. I thank everyone that participated in the program today and wish you well. And we'll see you same time, same channel tomorrow.